Okay, we are recording, and I'm going to mute everybody. If you guys aren't muted, I think most of y'all should be. Oh, let's see. I don't know how to mute. Does anybody know how to mute all? There should be a thing. I should have taken like a Zoom 101 to do this.
There should be a little button down in the left-hand corner that says mute or unmute, and they can do it themselves.
Okay, well, hopefully everybody mutes themselves. I think everybody is. I'm just flipping through. Yep, it looks like. All right. Manage participants. Oh, sweet. Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, I think everybody is muted from what I can see. Mute all. Current and new participants will be muted. Yes. Okay, fabulous. We're ready to go. All right, for those of you guys that do not know me, my name is Erin Kroll, and I am an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. Guys, I have to tell you, I am not one to get pretty and made up for just about anything. I'll do it like, you know, if I'm at a Plexus event or if there's like a handsome man involved, but usually this is what you get. And I even have pants on. Like a lot of people talk about when they do Zooms, they don't wear pants. I have pants on because I just walked in the door. So nobody be scared. I will say what's ever on my mind. Pretty much. For those of you guys that don't know me, I'm very blunt and upfront. But one of the things that I want to touch on is a little bit backstory. For those of you guys that don't know me, I know that several of you do, but I'll just go quickly through how I got here. So April 2013 is when I started with the company, and the opportunity literally was something that I was not looking for. Weight loss, I've always been heavy. If you go to my Facebook page, you can see pictures of my before. I weighed in at 315 pounds when I started Plexus. I'm 5'4", so that is short and stout and very round when I started, very. But the funny thing is, you guys want to know a secret? When I started Plexus, I actually fibbed and told people when my starting weight, I said it was 295 pounds because I thought it was a bad thing to be over 300 pounds. So like if I was just under the 300 pound mark, it wasn't as bad in my head. And then when I got going and I was losing weight, I'm like, why am I cheating myself out of this weight that I'm really losing? So I had to be like, okay, true story. I was 315 when I started. So full disclosure, I kind of lied when I started and told my friends I was 295. But I've totally fessed up. It's been like the last 3.5 years I've said I was 315 when I started. So with that being said, I've lost 95 pounds, guys. 4.5 years of literally lots and lots of hard work. Those of you guys that have had amazing weight loss results, like I'm not the only one in the company that have had awesome weight loss results, and I am a full figure girl. There's still a lot of fluff on my curves, but the one thing that I've learned is that I'm very much healthier than I used to be physically, but also I'm a lot healthier emotionally, and so I look at my body a lot differently now than what I used to. So if you guys are still looking at your body in the mirror and saying, I'm so fat, I can't believe that, you know, I'm promoting a weight loss supplement and I'm a fraud, I'm fat. You have to stop saying that to yourself. You have to. I don't care if you still have weight to lose, because I still have weight to lose. I've got like weight here and weight on my belly and weight on my butt. Like I've still got weight to lose, but I'm healthier now emotionally because I changed what I was saying to myself. I just want to get that out of the way because I feel like so many people look at me and they're like, oh my gosh, I love everything about how you talk and how you feel about your body. You guys can do the same thing. You have to change what's up here and what's in here. So that's my quick little soapbox. So I started in 2013. Weight loss has been awesome. Business has been awesome. I'm at the Emerald level now, which, like I said in my post, it still is weird to type Emerald Ambassador after my name, because the only initials after my name for most of my adult life were BSW, because I have a bachelor's in social work. So I was looking for weight loss and emotional health, because in 2012, I lost 4 members of my family. It sucked. I'm just going to put it out there plainly and boldly. It was awful. My sister is on this call tonight, and she can tell you it sucked. But one thing that I've learned since then is how much your emotional health has to do with your gut. Obviously, we all know that. But if you guys aren't using that as a platform to reach out to the people that you know that are still struggling with anxiety and depression and mental health issues, things like that, if you're not teaching them about gut health and you're just focusing on weight loss, you're doing them a disservice. Because a lot of times people will be more apt to want to reach more attainable goals. And especially if you have someone like me that was really overweight, 315 pounds, like, guys, that's a lot. And I really, what sunk me in, or what, hook, line, and sinker got me, was because of the emotional health that I could get relief from. So fast forward, all of the things over the last 4.5 years that I have utilized up to this point to help me with not just my weight loss journey, but also like my business journey. Because when you're a social worker, your job is completely to motivate and inspire people, right? And that's what I feel like we do with Plexus, is every day we have to be refining ourselves to say, okay, what are we going to do to put in our head to get us pumped up and to be a positive resource for people. I mean, so many of you guys on this call have been in this business just as long, if not longer, than what I have. So for me to sit here and try to tell you guys, like, what exactly is the magic key, there's not really a magic key, so to speak, but there definitely is things that you do on a daily basis to make sure that you are staying motivated. It's such a cliche word, but inspired, I guess, is another thing. A lot of people call me inspiring, and sometimes I have a hard time wrapping my head around compliments still, because I'm human. And I mean, for a lack of better explanation, sometimes it's hard, even though you've had success with the business and you've had success with the weight loss, sometimes it's legit hard to say, okay, yes, there is things about me that have persevered and that are inspiring to people. But one of the things that I actually got done doing a live earlier today for another team, and the thing that I said to them that has been key in making me successful with not just my Plexus journey, but also just my lifestyle change, has been dealing with my relationship with food. So that's one thing that smacked me in the head today, that a lot of people, they'll deal with the physical aspect, or they'll put good supplements in their belly, but they don't always do the heart work and the head work to deal with their relationship with food, right? So if you're not doing things to look at how you feel about food, there may be something to that. There's this really good book that I love, and it's called Made to Crave. Can somebody put that in the chat, please, for me? This one's the devotional, but there is an actual book, and it's by Lisa TerKeurst. Thank you, Krista, for doing that. So that is one of the books that I've read this through probably twice, and it's underlined, guys. There's notes written in it, everything. And I don't care if you're a dude or not, you could still relate to this book. So just because a chick is telling you about it, if you're a dude and you have a relationship with food that is unhealthy, totally pick up this book. You can get the devotional like this, where it's 60 days, and it's 60 days to craving God and not food. And it really helps you learn how to deal with your emotions in regards to your relationship with food, and really can transform your thought process to know that you don't need food. We always say I had a bad day, so I'm going to go get a milkshake. I had a bad day, I'm going to pray to Jesus, or I'm going to call my best friend who is going to set me straight and not eat the milkshake, right? Not to say that I don't eat milkshakes, but I eat them because I want them and not because they're making me feel better, literally. And I now have P96 and coconut milk and frozen fruit or almond butter to mix with my chocolate peanut butter or chocolate to make my own peanut butter shake. That's what I'm trying to say. So changing like your thought process about food, and that it's like not a reward. Food shouldn't be a reward for completing something, right? The only reward that's food related is this in my book, because this is my second one today. And it's bedtime, but that's okay. So I really think that's important to share about. And I just felt like today when I said that to that group, I was like, oh, I feel like that's a word that I need to share with some people today, because your relationship with food is so crucial, and understanding that, because when you address the relationship that you have with food, that will make you be a better product of the product, right? And essentially, we have these amazing products in our fingertips. They work. I mean, I don't have a picture of me like my before picture, but you can go up, just type in Erin Kroll, and I'm sure that 20,000 before and after pictures of me, like literally in my tank top and my very fitting capri workout pants. I mean, it's literally like the most unflattering picture I could have came up with, but I share it all the time because it's still something for me that's not comfortable for me to share that picture, because there's no hiding what's underneath that black tank top. Like, it's very skin tight, and it's 315 pounds of skin tight. So like, it's a very clear picture of what I looked like when I started, and it still brings up a lot of emotional junk. But doing this, like this book and other books I'm going to share about, I'm a big, huge proponent of reading and changing your mindset. So if you are not a reader, one thing that I want you to say tonight from now on, I love my newfound excitement for reading. Instead of speaking out that you hate reading or something negative like I don't like to read, change it into an affirmation. I did it for years, not knowing what I was doing, was saying that I was poor with budgeting and money. I just said, oh, well, my mom's, or my dad is bad with money, so I'm going to be bad with money. I was speaking that out to life. And once I changed that and said, I am learning how to budget effectively and to be the boss of my money and not let money be the boss of me, things started to change. So change that in your wording. If you don't like to sit and just read a book, then listen to it. Put it in your ears, Audible, books on CD, anything. I don't want an excuse. There really is no excuse in this day and age to say that that you don't do well with reading. Because even if, and this is not meant to be like judgmental or anything, like even if you're illiterate and you never learn to read well, you can still listen to books. You can listen to things on YouTube, things like that. So that's another thing. If you are not into growing yourself and taking time away from the extras, which you guys that got on this call tonight, holla, because in all honesty, Sunday nights, you're tired from a weekend. You've got a lot of things going on weekends. I totally get that. But you got on here because you want more. You don't want to be doing that 9-to-5 job anymore. And guys, 4 years it took me to get to Emerald. So I totally understand the point that you're sitting at saying, Erin, it's never going to come. It's never going to come. When you say that, you're speaking that out into the universe. Literally, you're doing yourself a disservice by saying, it's taking too long. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. God's got you on this path because there's things that like maybe he wants you to work on before you get to the level of success to where you can handle different things. Somebody spoke a word over me last year, and boy, was it a good one. They said, Erin, I really think the reason that you're not quite as successful as you could be with Plexus is because you're not being a good steward with your money. And why would Jesus give you more money by making or helping you achieve a higher rank if you're not a good steward with your money? Now, that person loves me, and I know that they love me, and so they said it to me, and I received it well. I mean, I received it a lot better than I think they thought I was going to, because God had done a work in my heart to know that people aren't coming to me in judgment. They're coming to me in love and to say the things that God really places on their heart. So if somebody's speaking a word over you and they're saying something to you and it really kind of just irks at your skin a little bit, it's probably because it's a word that God really wants you to hear. And it's not the first word that he's had to tell me. And I have stopped saying that I'm stubborn, because stubborn to me is like a block, right? And so I don't say that anymore. And if I do, if you guys catch me saying that, you're my friends, you're my circle, call me out on it, okay? Because that's what we do. We have people that are going to call us out on our stuff, even when it's hard to verbally get out or to receive. So make sure that you have people in your circle that are going to call you out on your stuff. And I am the first person to tell you that God has done a transformation in my heart for me to embrace being called out. And I'm still a work in progress. There's days where I don't excel at being called out. So I understand, like, what I'm asking you to do is not anything that I am not working on myself. So I'm kind of jumping around a lot, but that's kind of me. So those of you guys that know me probably aren't surprised. And if you don't know me, I'm sorry. You can watch the recording and try to put it in some kind of order in your head. That's all I got. But as far as going back to like the things, like one big thing was me with the relationship with food. That was a huge thing. And the reading is another thing. And this book right here, The Catalyst Leader, I can give you guys all like 20,000 books to read. I am a bookworm. I love reading books. But the thing that I love about this group, The Catalyst, is actually an app that you can download, and they have podcasts on there. So for those of you guys that have long commutes, like I used to when I was a social worker in the car all the time on the road, put earbuds in, put it on your Bluetooth on your car, whatever. Totally listen to the podcast. They're about leadership. They're about faith. They're about being a mama. They're about being a spiritual leader in your family for males. Like, they're all different things. They're great. So The Catalyst Leader, if somebody could put that down too, I would really appreciate that in the chat so y'all can remember that, The Catalyst Leader. And Brad Lomanek is the one that wrote this, and Brad actually is an Oklahoma dude. And so that's pretty cool. They have a huge, what do I want to say, conference every year. And it was actually just last week in Atlanta where their main leadership conference is. And I was slated to go, but due to unforeseeable circumstances, I had to cancel that trip. But they have some really great speakers there. Brene Brown was just there. If y'all don't know who Brene Brown is, you need to go with the picture and totally listen to Brene Brown. Brene. I'm going to type that one because I can type right now. Brene Brown. She is the bomb. Okay. Totally. She has a new book that just came out called Braving the Wilderness. Excellent. I listened to it on CD on my way back from Pennsylvania to Oklahoma, where I live. And it is absolutely phenomenal. So, yes, it is so good. All right. Another one. Some of you guys know this book. And some of you may know this book and not read it yet, and have been slow to listen to our dear friend Krista Deary when she talked about this book. I was slow to listen to her. Julie Wright, she probably knows what book I'm going to talk about. Yeah, Heart Made Whole. If you guys have not, Julie's shaking her head. Yeah, Julie, have you read this book? All right, good girl. So if you guys have not read this book, I'm only on chapter 4. It is literally therapy for your heart. If you don't like talking about your feelings, if you don't like dealing with junk that is, down deep in your heart, don't read this book. Stay stuck. Just going to be blunt. It will literally pull things out of you that you thought you already dealt with. And I've been to therapy, guys. I'm a social worker by trade, so therapy to me is a great thing. I love it. I didn't always love it. I went in high school when my parents divorced, and then I went as an adult after my dad died. And then probably about 8 months ago, I did a couple sessions with a friend of mine that's a therapist back in Pennsylvania. And so I get it. It's not easy to deal with things. I've been there, done that, I know. But if you're not doing the things to heal your heart, then Jesus really isn't in every room of your heart. there's some things that you got to work on. But that's a really good book. I'm just quickly going through 2 more books, and then I'll talk some guts and tell you a little bit more about my story. This is the other one. We've talked about this before, The 4 Color Personalities for MLM. It's an oldie but a goodie, guys. If you literally are feeling stuck with a team member or prospects or anything like that, get it out and just reread it. It's really short. It is literally, I think, like 80 pages, 90 pages. Okay, 100 pages. Sorry, I didn't flip to the end of the book. It's 100 pages. It is so good. Very quick read, very good information on just how to deal with people's personalities. So I was not prepared for the leadership side of Plexus when I started at all. I totally was someone who said that I wanted a team, I wanted to lead a team, but I had no clue what I was doing. So I've had to literally embrace so much education and so much knowledge and growth and learning when it comes to leadership, how to deal with different personalities, how to stay motivated and to inspire people to stay motivated during the hard days, because we've all got hard days. We've all got junk that we've had to deal with. But when people are turning to you, which they are. I mean, even if you are a brand new person in Plexus and this is your first 90-day or first accountability group, you still have people looking to you to find motivation because you've already started sharing about Plexus. So your warm market, your prospects are already going to look to you for motivation. So I get that it's not always something that you understand, like, okay, how am I going to, learn how to do these things? There's so many books, guys. This is one that I just got. This is the last one I'm going to talk about. Find Your Why by Simon Sinek. He just came out with this book. I literally have not even started reading it yet. But the thing that I'm so excited about is there are things in here that are so broken down, that are so simple. Like right here, it says story sharing. The goal is to collect specific stories that reveal both the contribution the organization makes to the lives of others and the impact of that contribution over time. So sharing a story is how you relate to people. That's how half the people on this call feel like they know me better than their cousin Bertha, because I share my guts out on Facebook. I share stories. I share my heart. I share triumphs. I share struggles. But the one thing is that I always am mindful, first and foremost, and I had a good reality check of this week. Over the last couple of weeks, I've had a really good reality check of this, of how much I'm literally going to God first to get my support emotionally and not to a computer screen. So when we are living, eating, breathing Plexus business and our time is so much involved with social media, if we don't have a place to do a gut check and literally say, okay, are we putting too much on Facebook? Are we going to Facebook to get attention? There's a fine line. Literally, there's a fine line, because we can go there and talk about our troubles, and because we want people to feel like the injustice that we feel, or to feel, like to give us sympathy. Maybe not sympathy in a negative way, but just to support us, or asking for prayers, things like that. I had a really good gut check on Wednesday night where I posted something, and it was about my dad. October is a really hard month. My sister can tell you that, like, we lost our dad in October, and it was a really quick illness, literally 3 weeks from the time we found out he had cancer to the time that he passed. And every single day of this month is a memory, a hard memory, to know, like, okay, on this day this happened, on this day this happened, on this day this happened, on the 22nd he died, on the 28th we buried him, so every single day, I have to gut check myself to be like, okay, Jesus, it's been 5 years, guys, it's been 5 years, but I still have to be like, where am I processing this grief, and am I taking it to the guy upstairs before I'm taking it to anybody out there? And Wednesday night, I didn't do a very good job of that. And I posted something that was, after I read it, because 3 people messaged me and they're like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And I'm like, apparently I'm not. I reread the post and I'm like, this isn't me. This isn't what I was trying to portray. And I took the post down because I didn't want people to look at me like I was coming for sympathy, and it totally looked like that in the post. And the reason that I'm sharing this is because there's a lot of times where people will say, how do you're so vocal about everything on Facebook, but there's times where I don't do a good job at it. And I need like people to be like, okay, maybe that wasn't, the point that you were trying to come across, and it really isn't coming across that way. So we don't always have it figured out, I guess is my point. Even when we're at this level where we are in a leadership role, like I said, whether you have 1,500 people underneath you like I do, or you have one person underneath you, it doesn't matter. Like, you really have to like be mindful of like where you are when you're sharing about the business and when you're just sharing your personal stuff, because it's a fine line. And some days, I'll tell you, it gets hard to find that balance. But if I'm going upstairs first to God, then it makes it easier. So one of the things, I don't want to yak too long. It's been about 28 minutes, 26 minutes since I've been talking. But the one thing that I think is so important, this week is my week to be sharing with you guys. I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm going to be talking just about what your destiny is and what your calling is, and how that has shifted and changed for me over the last 4 years and where it's at now. And the one thing that's really cool about this group, I'm going to tell you a little secret. It's not a secret if I tell, however many people are on this call, but it's hard. It has been a challenge for me to do these IPA groups for my team, because I had in my head this expectation that I should have everybody wanting to do an accountability group. I should want my whole team to do an accountability group. They should all be as hungry as I am to make it to the top of the company. That's ridiculous. So when I didn't get as many involved in those groups, I had a really hard time staying motivated. And it's funny because I have probably like less than 5 of my direct people in this group. But the thing that this is helping me overcome is to stay on track and motivated by just doing 1 week of this 6-week challenge or 90-day, whatever it is. I don't even know. But in all honesty, like, to breaking up that hurdle a little bit smaller. So instead of me doing a 90-day all by myself, which I have faltered in before, my team can tell you. And when Lori asked me to be a part of this group and that I would be responsible for 1 week, I was like, I can handle 7 days. Okay, I can do it. I got this. This is going to be like a hurdle for me to overcome. Even as an Emerald ambassador, I've never led one of these groups before. And this is helping me to break it up into smaller things. So if you have a goal that you're trying to work towards and you're getting overwhelmed with it, break it up into smaller things. Totally break it up into smaller things. There is not going to be 1 second that I'm not going to ask anybody anything in my team that I can't do myself. So this is helping me overcome a hurdle that in 6 months, it would be no problem. I can do like a 90-day accountability for 3 people. As long as we're doing it and we're staying on track, I don't care. I'll lead those 3 people. And it's not going to matter that it's not 30 people, because God is literally going to pick the people that need to grow and that are supposed to be there in that moment doing that with you. My girl, Julie, she's shaking her head. It's funny. I can see like your face directly. So that's why I keep calling you out. Sorry. I'm not trying to, like pick on you or anything, but it's totally something that God really ordains, like when something is supposed to shift and how it's supposed to happen. I'm going to look at my notes really quick. Okay. So one of the things that I really want to touch on, so this is week 3. At the end of week 3, we'll have done like 21 days. I'm not a math major. So if I screwed that up, blame Mr. Dowd, because he was my 7th grade math teacher. Sorry, probably not 7th grade, but anyways, don't blame him, blame me, because I just don't love math. But at the end of this week, we'll have done 21 days. So 21 days is a habit. 90 days is like, you've killed it. You've got it. You know what I mean? So when I started doing the fitness side of things with Plexus, like with my health journey, I should say, after I had done Plexus for 6 months and did not do any fitness whatsoever, I was getting to a plateau and I'm like, I'm not losing weight anymore. What's going on? I'm like, oh, maybe I need to exercise to lose weight. So I started going to the gym. So my first 21 days that I went to the gym, after that 21 days, it became easier to do. So at the end of this week, week 3, we'll have done those 21 days of doing these things and staying accountable, doing your IPA journal, your activity tasks, whatever you call them. Like, I've got an actual daily IPA journal that is great for me. I write in it and I've got names down, things like that. It's just a way for me to stay organized. It doesn't have to be fancy. It can be like in a old school notebook, just like this, whatever works for you. So don't think that, it's got to be a certain way. It literally just has to, there you go. Rosemary's showing us hers. It literally can be anything that works good for you. But at the end of the 3rd week, you guys will have completed that 21-day hump to literally like get going forward and to stay in that momentum and really be reaching out and talking to people on a daily basis and knowing that, okay, I made it this far. Now the rest is just going to fly by because it's a habit and I get up every day and I've been owning it. One video that totally helped me with things when Lori started this group was the Mel Robbins video, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dude, I make my bed every day now. I'm 36 years old. Hi, my name is Erin Kroll, and I'm 36 years old, and I just started making my bed every day. Not going to lie. I just never saw the point in it. And now the point is literally for me, a person who works from home and lives in a 450 square foot apartment in the front of an airplane hangar, because that's what I do, it helps me start my day. Most people leave their house and drive to their office. For me, I was having a hard time literally like flipping that switch. So now my flip that I switch, like most people like turn off the lights when they leave to go start their day, I make my bed. That's like flipping my switch to start my day. Sounds ridiculous when I say it out loud to all of y'all, but it totally has helped me in a big, big way. Thank you for shaking your head, Misty. That's validation, and that makes me feel better, even at 36, to know that like I'm just now getting it. But it's never too late, guys. And if I could make it this far in the company and be earning the amazing income that I am, and just starting all of these things that I'm just sharing with you, you're like, wow, okay, there's hope for me. Because if Erin can get this far and she's just now learning to make her bed every day and get into a habit, I've got like promise. There's promise in the promised land. There's hope for you. So I mean that sarcastically. I don't mean that as a dig or anything. I hope you guys know that. But it literally, there's things that you can change, and that you have to be like embracing change all of the time. So I'm just going to leave you with one little tidbit from tomorrow that I'm going to share by my good buddy. I've just recently been introduced to this man, and he really has made a huge difference in my days. I literally make sure that I watch him or listen to him every single day. He gets my rear end fired up. Are you ready? TD Jakes. If y'all don't listen to Mr. TD, you are missing out. He has got enthusiasm and just, Jesus puts words on this man's heart that literally will move a tortoise to sprint down the highway. Like, he gets you going, like literally gets you going. So I just picked up this devotional. It's called Destiny, and it says daily readings, inspirations for your life's journey. It was $6 at Barnes & Noble. It jumped off the shelf at me. It was totally a God thing that I picked this up. One of the things that I'm going to share about tomorrow is get comfortable with exposure. A lot of you guys know me that I am very much out there and share my heart and am a big proponent of being vulnerable. I know Tammy talked about that last week, and I just loved listening to her share all that stuff. And she is just an amazing, amazing heart. And I loved listening to all that. But it really got me thinking, like that's one of my things that I feel like I'm good at. I feel like I can tell a story, and I'm still working on the art of storytelling, and sometimes I do better than others, but being vulnerable and exposing pieces of your heart is what will pull at other people's heartstrings so they feel that you are relatable to them and you're not just pushing a product on them. So I just kind of setting the stage for tomorrow. I'm not going to say too much, but this is the first line. So you'll read this tomorrow, but this is the first line of what I'm going to say tomorrow. Or when you choose exposure and have the courage to see another side, it could take a little getting used to. You may feel like you don't fit anywhere. New situations are so unfamiliar and you've outgrown the old. That is exactly what I felt like when I started growing with Plexus, that some of my old friends didn't really understand like you guys do. You guys are my comfort zone. You get it. You've got the vision. You share the passion. You're in the cult with me, whatever you want to call it. My brother, he calls it a pink drink cult. But literally, guys, you get that. And how to transition from that old into the new and not lose the old and be brave enough for the new. That's where the magic happens. So that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow on Motivation Monday. And I really appreciate you guys getting on here tonight and listening to me talk. I hope that there was some good nuggets of information that I shared with you guys. I really just prayed about this. I don't have a script that I usually follow. There's not much about my life that is scripted. So why would I do my talking scripted anyways? Because I don't like conformity. That is not me. It was conformity to do the post in a timely manner and share the link with you. That was conformity enough. So, and making sure that I post at a decent morning time is going to be conformity, but I've got my alarm set to get up and make sure that it's on here early enough for those East Coasters that got to go to work and do that 9 to 5 thing. So thank you guys very much for getting on here tonight and listening to me. And I'm excited about this week 3, where we're going to be talking about our destiny and how to really like know the different levels and to kind of go through the transition of how that changes along the way and how it has for me over the last 4 years. So I'm going to check the chat really quick. You guys are welcome. I'm glad y'all got on here. Okay, the next task that I've literally only done one other time in my whole 4-year career with Plexus is to upload a video from Zoom to the page. So when you guys see that, be like, yay, Erin did another first. Well, it's a second, but it's almost a first because the other one, somebody was right there walking me through it. So I'm learning all this new stuff too. So don't think that I'm telling you to do all these things and not sitting here right here learning with you. So I'm going to get going and get this uploaded. So thank you guys so much for being on the call tonight. And I really, really appreciate it. Bye. Stop recording.